Basically, in a short snapshot, unless we figure out how to get more money, we don't know how to do that. We're looking at bankruptcy. There's only so much money you can get out of a broke population by giving them tickets and pulling them over. I mean, some people can't pay it, and they end up losing their license. But once they're walking and once they're homeless and you can't feed on them anymore, I mean, where does the money come from? Portland's going to have to figure this out. Oregon's going to have to figure this out. The whole nation's going to have to figure out that trillion, let's just say quadrillion dollar question. We've got to figure out how to become financially self-sufficient. And we have to influence by going down to City Council, Mayor Adams to be looking at some of these issues. But it's not going to happen because of the financial interests that are in bed with Sam Adams. And it's worse than probably what I'm aware of. The guy's being flown all around the world. And there's very little information as to what he's really doing, but we're talking about bankers flying him around. We're talking about China hosting Sam Adams. Sam Adams is rubbing elbows with powerful people at this time. But it's still important to go down to City Council and make those guys nervous. Let them know they're not going to put you on a list. They've got a lot of things they're worried about. They don't want to hear about these issues. They're already on the defensive with a bunch of other issues, but they're certainly clean house with screwing us over. Yeah, Moody's gave Portland a great credit rating. Yeah, so we continue to borrow more. We'll see what happens with our water supply. Who owns that? Because of the number of just millions in bonds. We have this one here from Raw Story. Debt collectors using Facebook to stalk and humiliate. Oh, man, it's not just friends that are noticing your status updates on Facebook. Debt collectors are now combing through social networks to learn about the lives of those that owe them money in order to embarrass them into paying up. One woman named Melanie in Tampa, Florida, felt violated when she found out she was being stalked by collectors online. After falling behind on her car payments due to an illness, she began to receive as many as 20 calls per day from Mark One Financial. And one day her sister called and said the company called her. Melanie told her sister, "No way, because you're not even a reference." After finding out the company had contacted her sister and other relatives through Facebook, Melanie contacted consumer attorney Billy Howard of Morgan & Morgan. Now Facebook does a debt collector's work for them, says Howard. Now it's not only family members, it's all your associates. It's a very powerful tool for debt collectors to use. So I get these phone calls a lot from my own particular debt collector. Yeah, what I started doing is answering the phone and pulling up some video on YouTube about the economy crashing and us going into tyranny and just kind of let them listen to that. So I got tired of talking to him after a few conversations. There's a few others here we're going to go through. Grain could rise 50% in 2011 on drought, shortages, demand, and weather. And it's already risen 85% over the last year, so they say. But it hasn't really hit the consumers yet. Now they're announcing that a lot of things, the consumer level, the supermarkets, are now about to go into that. It's now about to react to what's been done. Of course, in these reports, they talk about, China and growing demand for grains, and they talk about this over here. They don't really talk about hyperinflation or the economy, the weakening purchasing power of the dollar, and just completely removed from the conversation as if it doesn't even exist. It's not put in the proper context. You have to study these issues to understand the different dynamics that are at play concurrent to the information about flooding and damage to cropland. I mean, things like earth changes, that's just one part of it. There's still a lot more food out there that really shouldn't cost what it's costing, especially the third world. And in many cases, in Haiti, people have starved to death because they couldn't afford to eat the food. Stuff like this was coming out last year and the year before. It just sat in a warehouse, rotting on a pallet. This is the callous nature of the World Bank. This is the callous nature of the World Health Organization that's vaccinating the third world with God knows what. When you put all these headlines together and you look at it, you may not be able to completely see those at the top and who really knows who's really controlling this new world order. But you can see a system coming into view. You can start to see the blueprint, the lining, how these different things are connected, how we've seen a surveillance society brought upon the whole world, not just the United States, the same technology. Different countries sharing that same technology that appear to be at odds with one another, huffing and puffing their chests. U.S. and China doing war games in the South China Sea. Meanwhile, we gave them that stuff. It's all a big joke. The Chinese troops not knowing what's going on, the U.S. troops not knowing what's going on. The ultimate endgame is coming. We're going to move forward to some things to substantiate that point. We talked with Wayne Madsen last week. The missile got fired off California. Now there are other people associated with the government that also believe that this could be a Chinese missile that was fired off the coast of California to send the United States some sort of a message. There's this report here. New Chinese subs raises questions. New media interest about new types of submarines being developed by the People's Liberation Army Navy could provide important clues about China's naval capabilities and intentions. A specialist on China said in a recent article. Earlier last month, the Hong Kong-based media news outlet based in Hong Kong ran a story based on a photo of a new conventional powered attack submarine that had been circulating on the web for several weeks. The SSK submarine was allegedly developed by state-owned China's Shipbuilding Industry Corporation, China's largest shipbuilder. The People's Liberation Army has yet to officially acknowledge reports that the new submarine has stealth capabilities. So what's happening here, I'm finding a bunch of reports in the news, a lot of reports. They can come right up on the U.S. Navy undetected, and they pop right up, and it's been happening over and over and over and over again. And so we're supposed to believe that our own government is incompetent? They've got satellites in space that can pick up the type of cigarette we're smoking down here in our balcony. They're not able to pick up a Chinese submarine. Most of those people were starving 50 years ago. The battle between Mao Zedong and Chiang Kai-shek. Then all of a sudden, China came together, had a central government, got a central bank. They started mobilizing their military, secret meetings between Kissinger, Mao Zedong, Nixon, and then, of course, their society continued. More stuff was manufactured for us at cheap prices. It was all an accident that we got to this point. It's all an accident. IBM helps them build their supercomputer. Also in the news. We're building their computer technological apparatus. We've been building it for years. They fund our wars. They fund our wars. They buy up our treasury bonds. We're not supposed to be alarmed about this. And people say, well, China really are. They already own us. We're already there. Really? We're really there. We're really where you think this is going to go. You really think this is bottom? You know, I saw something. We'll get to that caller now. I saw something in the Oregonian. It says, congratulations, good news, we finally hit bottom. Is that what you think, Kulongoski? You got another thing coming, but something tells me Kulongoski knows exactly what's coming. He just hasn't told you yet. Okay, with that, let's go to the phone call on hold, and then we'll get to the other news and the other clips. Go ahead, caller. Hello?
Hello, Alex.
Good evening.
Hi, how you doing, man? Let me mute this.
Yeah, just turn out.
I've always wondered when you see George Bush, especially with his new book and everything, that
right.
We've never been attacked again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, weren't we attacked before he was president? What we were spending money. I'm old. We were spending money on the military-industrial complex and all these defense systems through all these decades, and then these guys with box cutters cut through all that, and what are we paying all this money for?
Right.
I mean, this is just bullshit. And I'm from the old Abby Hoffman days.
Right.
And and you know what? I ain't digging it anymore. I haven't dig it for a long, long time. But you know, they say we have never been attacked again. Hey, man, if you're attacked once, ain't that enough? Man, what are we paying? I knew this guy who invented the neutron bomb. Why don't we just drop the neutron bomb on these motherfuckers?
Mm-hmm.
Where's George Patton? Where are the goddamn
All right, yeah, go ahead, and we'll go to the next one. Well, it's only we can only allow so much foul language in one phone call, but I understand your frustration, and we have to continue to explore different tactics outside the box of reacting the way that they would like us to react to them. We have to continue to go outside the box and look for the really intelligent, strategic, covert tactics to take down the New World Order and systems of control. And a powerful way to take that anger, aggression, and turn it into something positive is to unplug someone from the matrix, is to say something, and sometimes I give people too much information to where they don't want to hear anymore. But to give them just a little bit of information, especially Marines coming back, people with post-traumatic stress disorder, a great way, and I'm not joking when I say this, or saying this callously, to learn about the truth of 9/11, to learn about what's really going on is a great way to heal from that, and then repent from that, not necessarily in a religious way, but repent from what you've done, and then make a vow with God, make a vow with yourself, your higher self, that you are going to help someone else. It will help you heal from the pain that you have, that you're going to help someone else get out of the mind control, get out of the cage, get off the hamster wheel, that you're going to help someone else see the light. We've got more news to cover, but I'm not going to cover it because we have to find a way to reach out to others. And sometimes we're going to be rejected, and sometimes people aren't going to want to hear it. And sometimes they might be just plain rude because of whatever's going on with them. That can't be something that stops us from making that special connection. Japanese pop star Hansu Miki takes up the stage as a 3D hologram. People are fascinated by holograms. Viewers pull plug on U.S. cable television because more people are starting to see through the propaganda and lies. They're not having it. Geraldo, much more open-minded about 9/11 thanks to New York City television ads. This is a strange story. Apparently, Geraldo's talking about Building 7 going down and how it's mysterious. Just can't help but wonder, I mean, is it a shift in consciousness? And is he really starting to see something with this 9/11 thing? Or is this just another attempt by the mainstream media to hold on to their audience because there's something really, really big coming? And they want us to believe what they're saying, have trust in them, because there's a big deception that's coming real soon that's going to knock our socks off. I'll tell you what, you've gotten a lot of information from me over the years, and you're getting information from other sources. When I say look within, in a world of mind control, in a world where there's so many people trying to hijack your consciousness, who else can you really trust or follow but your own intuition, your own guidance? We've got to find some way in our own lives every day to recenter with where that is. Otherwise, the wind that's coming may sweep us off our feet, but it won't be in the romantic way. There is a storm coming, folks, but our ability to forecast it, to analyze how it's coming in, to see and analyze the eye of the storm, it puts us in a better place to provide better for ourselves, to prepare for our families, and of course understand what's really going here on this strange planet that we all choose to collectively call Earth. There are many questions at play here as we examine different pieces of information. We'll be back next week. Hope you all have a good Thanksgiving. I'm Alex Hansen reminding you that the path to the ultimate truth still stands and relies in one place, within. Take care.